We were staying in Paris to get away from your parents, and I thought, wow, if I could take this in a shot right now, I don't think that we could work this out on the terrace. I don't know if it's fair, but I thought, how could I let you fall by yourself? Well, I'm wasted with someone else. If we go down, then we go down together. They'll say you could do anything, they'll say that I was clever. If we go down, then we go down together. We'll get away with everything that shows we are better. We were staying in Paris to get away from your parents. You look so proud, standing there with a frown and a cigarette, posting pictures of yourself on the internet, out on the terrace. We breathe in the air of this small town, on our own, cutting glass with the thrill of it, getting drunk on the past we were living in. If we go down, then we go down together. They'll say you could do anything, they'll say that I was clever.
Just train legs. Now it's lunchtime. And as you know, I like to be a little bit controversial. So here, you're probably gonna think, how or why is he eating that? Because that's so bad for him. Jam bagels, hula hoops, protein cookie, Pepsi Max. You're probably asking and thinking a lot of bad things right now, but watch me eat this and whatever else I want, and get results that I want, and you can do it too.
Okay, I want to shed some light on one, the lunch I've just had, and two, some things I noticed at Body Power, which I know if it's going through the minds of people at Body Power, probably going through your mind as well. So, number one, hula hoops. What did I have for lunch? Hula hoops. Still drinking my Pepsi Max. What did I have? Jam bagel, hula hoops, and I had protein cookie. Now, is that optimal? No. Does it have to be optimal? Fuck no. Can you eat what you want? Yes. This is what I'm trying to get through to people. You don't have to eat chicken and broccoli, or fish and broccoli, or fish and a rice cake to get lean. You can eat whatever the fuck you want, providing your energy balance meets your needs. It doesn't get any more simple than that. So stop eating what you think you need to eat to get the good foods to get lean, because it might get you lean, but you aren't going to be able to sustain it because it's fucking boring. Now, in these 33 days, I could easily eat chicken and lettuce 5 times a day and get very fucking lean. Like, I would be shredded in 33 days. But I'm not going to do that because no one on this channel wants to see that or follow that. And there'll be, of the 200 people that watch this video, maybe 10 people, maybe 5 people will follow that. And guess what? They're going to get lean, but guess what they're also going to get? Eating disorder. So is it worth it? No, it isn't. So the idea is to teach you guys how to do this and make it into a lifestyle and to make it fun, which is the most important fucking thing. So that's that sorted. You can eat what you want, just make sure your calories are where they need to be for your goals to become a reality. That's simple. So if you're moving a lot, you can eat more food. If you're not moving much, you have to reduce your food amount. So if you're sat in an office all day, then yeah, you're going to struggle to fit in foods like hula hoops. Hula hoops are only 90 calories a packet, but you want foods that are going to fill you up for longer because your calories are going to be lower. So if you're someone who's on, let's say, 1500 calories a day to lose body fat, you're going to struggle to fit in foods that are higher calories. And that's unfortunate, but if you want to eat these things, then do more, move around to get your water every 45 minutes, do extra cardio, do extra long gym sessions, like whatever you need to do in order for you to create the lifestyle and the balance you need to get the results that you want. And what is balance? Balance is subjective. So whatever you find enjoyable, someone else might not. And that's what you need to really remember. So, okay, that's that point. And the next point, I've asked loads of diet questions. I saw people get asked these diet questions over the weekend. So, can you eat carbs after 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Yes. Does it make you, if you eat carbs after 2, are they stored as fat if you don't burn them off? No. The only reason why they'd be stored as fat is because you're in a calorie surplus. So the calories are stored as fat, not the carbs. Okay, so let's say in a day you burn 3,000 calories. This is including your your exercise, any cardio you do, how many steps you do, your fidgeting. You even burn calories while you're asleep. You burn calories from digesting food. So your non-exercise activity thermogenesis is included in this. So your calorie intake, your calorie expenditure will be quite high. For example, it's now 3 o'clock on my watch, and I've burnt today 3,042 calories. Okay, how accurate is this? Not very, but it's a guide that I can work from. If you, for example, burn 3,000 calories in a day, let's say you won't know how much you've burnt because there's hardly any way to really find out. But let's just say you did, hypothetically, and then you ate 3,500. You will be in a calorie surplus. Okay, so 500 calories potentially could be converted to body fat. Now that's how energy balance works. However, if you eat carbs right up until bedtime but eat 2,700 calories in that day and you burn 3,000, you are not going to store them calories as fat because you are in an energy deficit. And that's as simple as it gets. So this is what you need to manage. So if you're someone who doesn't burn many calories because your body weight is low and you don't do much on a day-to-day basis, then you need to be keeping an eye on how much food you're eating because you can't go over that if you want to keep getting leaner. And that is the goal of 99% of people watching this video, to get leaner. But you can eat carbs right until you go to bed, as long as you're in an energy deficit. So don't be worried about eating carbs but at night time, because you can eat them. What other questions did we get asked at the weekend, or did we hear at the weekend? Just continuing from my lunch, like, can you get lean whilst eating bad food? The answer is yes, absolutely. It doesn't matter if it's a bit of broccoli or a packet of hula hoops or a pink and white or a fudge bar. If you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to get leaner. Now, if you want to ensure that you keep muscle while you're going through this phase, which a lot of people do want to keep muscle, you need to ensure your protein intake is adequate. So whilst you're eating your fudge, have some chicken or whatever protein intake you want to get your protein from. So fish, steak, beef mince, protein shake, protein bar, eggs, like whatever you like. Or even if you're a vegan or vegetarian or a pescatarian, then there's always a way to get protein in. Make sure your protein intake is adequate, otherwise you will lose muscle. And the other thing you need to ensure you do is ensure your strength stays where it's at. So for example, if I go on a diet like I'm on now and my bench press goes from 90 kilos to 70 kilos because I lose strength because my food isn't adequate enough to support my strength in the gym, then I will lose chest strength and muscle. I will lose muscle from my chest. Now that's what happens. So if you're a competitor and you're in the last 4 weeks of your show, this is when strength potentially will drop. This is where you need to fight as hard as you fucking can to keep muscle, otherwise you will lose it. And there's no supplement that can change that. So for example, if you think you need to take BCAAs, you're wrong. And if someone tells you you need to take BCAAs, they're also wrong. If someone asks you to take BCAAs, if your trainer asks you or someone that recommends it, ask them to provide you with the evidence that shows it actually works. And they will go looking and they will find nothing, because there's no evidence to show that BCAAs actually supports and protects muscle tissue. But there is evidence to say that protein intake does. So just eat your protein, get that done, and don't waste your money on BCAAs because it's going to be expensive urine. And it's the same that goes for, I don't want to rip off loads of supplements now, because if you've got a placebo effect aligned to these supplements, then you're going to get pissed off with me, but there's a lot of supplements that don't actually work. So rather than tell you what ones don't work, I'll tell you which ones do work, which ones are worth buying, and I'll do that probably in the next episode if you guys want to see that. So I don't want to say this is bad, but I just want to be honest on this channel, and I want you to really understand what you need to buy and what you don't need to waste your money on. So I hope this helps, and this needs to be sustainable for you. So you need to ensure that on this challenge or past this challenge, you're eating food that you actually fucking enjoy, and you're training in a way that you can actually sustain, and it's progressible. Because if it isn't, then you can't go anywhere, and it isn't going to be sustainable, and you're going to go back to where you were before you started. And that isn't the idea of this. The idea of this is to get better and to keep getting fucking better, not to get better to then get worse again because it was too hard or unsustainable. So make it sustainable, make it enjoyable, have fun while you're doing it, and then I guarantee the results you get, you'll fucking love them. Hope this helps, and yeah, see you in the next clip.
So what are you doing?
Monday night food prep. Okay, if you're stuck for time, this is probably the best way to save time doing this food prep. I'm going around my mates about 20 minutes ago, so I'm a little bit late, so I'm trying to get this food prep done as fast as I can. Rice in the rice cooker, so I just put it in there, I don't have to do anything. Then I boil the chicken breasts, so I've got 6 chicken breasts being boiled. It'll take about 3 minutes each, as in to do each pan. There's 3 breasts in each, so literally food prep done in 10 minutes with very little effort. Why are you wearing my hat?
Because I'm in low, I go to the gym. Doesn't matter.
If we go down, then we go down together. We'll get away with everything that's show.
2, 1, let's go.
I'll start the hopping, right. Hold on. Right, hello everyone. Obviously Jack's into fitness and everything. I've had to take the time off the abs, and I've worked on something different. It's very close to my heart.
So obviously you're a fan of transformations like that. That's basically what you wanted to say. But rather than working on the bod this last so far this year, what are you working on, mate?
Working on this, bud.
So that's your kitchen before, right?
Yeah. Now give it a little twirl around the room, mate, and you'll see what it is now.
And this is the new kitchen. So I think you'll all agree he's done pretty well.
And the abs are looking a lot better.
And did you do this all yourself, Jack? Is this all with your own bare hands, mate? Is it? Hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. Blood, sweat, and
Mikey did help a little bit.
Yeah, loads of help. So what's your excuse for the abs? So Evo's basically come on this stag do with me that I'm trying to get ready for, in good shape for. And this is his views on trying to get in shape for it. You up for it, aren't you? But what's your limiting factor, Jack?
I can't be fucked.
That's what I've got to deal with.
Then we are better.
Show them we are, show them we are, let's show them we are, 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 let's show them we are, show them we are, show them we are.
If we go down, then we go down together. They'll say you could do anything.
Decent push session, just went down, and I'm back home now. I've had something to eat, I had a shower, I'm about to go back to work. I'm going to talk about 2 things. So I've been asked a question twice to talk about in a Q&A that I'm going to do later on in the week, but I'll answer it now and then save the other questions I've got for the Q&A because I've got quite a few to go through. So first thing was that push session was awesome. Basically that was the first time I've gone back through the program that we started last week. So obviously I'm logging all my lifts in my first week, then my aim this week is to beat the lifts that I've obviously set in last week. So it was really motivational to be able to lift more weight than last time, and bar one exercise I beat my lift on every exercise. So this is where you should all be at right now. So you should be making all-time PBs because simply it's only been a week. So you can probably run this program for 4 to 5 weeks and keep making PBs every single week. Then it'll get to a point where you need to add in more exercises and rotate more often. But yeah, so happy with that, making progress, definitely stronger in the gym and getting back up to where I was before we went away. And the question that I was asked on Instagram was, what's my thoughts on carb cycling? So I was asked this question twice, so I thought I'd answer it now and clear it up in this video rather than wait until the end of the week, because a few people wanted to know the answer to it. So my thoughts on carb cycling. Okay, carb cycling. Is it necessary? Not necessarily. My advice would be, it's a hard one. So I have used carb cycling before and I enjoyed it. However, if you're enjoying your diet the way it is on a balanced macronutrient diet, so let's say for example your diet is 200 grams of protein, 250 grams of carbs and 60 grams of fat, and you have that 7 days a week. Now that's just a flatline diet, okay? So if you were to have a carb cycle, your protein would probably stay the same all week unless you went super high with carbs and you could drop it a little bit. So say you went 200 grams of protein, then your carbs would go from a low day to a high day and potentially a medium day as well. So you have 3 different kind of days within your diet that you'd rotate in between, and you'd normally put a high carb day on like your leg or a back day, they're more challenging workout sessions, and on a rest day you'd add in a low carb day. Now I'm a fan of that because it then places your food when you need it and when you need it most, and that really helps with recovery. However, having said that, you do not need to complicate your diet by doing this in an early phase. Like if you're an advanced lifter or someone who's tired out the diet that you're on and you're fed up of it, then yeah, introduce carb cycling. It's a really good tool to keep things moving. But if you haven't reached a plateau with what you're already doing, there's no real need to introduce carb cycling. So what I think I'll do is I'll write it down on a little bit of paper what a carb cycling diet could potentially look like, and I'll share that within this video. And then you can basically create your own carb cycling diet if you wanted to. So you can do this all the same through MyFitnessPal. And I'm probably going to introduce it maybe just in a week during this 33-day challenge, just to show you guys what it consists of and how it basically works. So before I went away, I used to carb cycle. I used to basically follow a training day macro setup and a rest day macro setup. So I was only training for 4 days a week. On my training days, my carbs would be exceptionally high. On my rest days, they'd be low. So that was basically how I worked it. I had no medium day, it would just be a high or a low day. And that worked really well for me because it placed my food where I needed it most. However, right now my appetite isn't that high. So for me, just keeping things really basic is simple for me. So if you put me on a day where I had a high carb day on 400 grams of carbs, I'd probably struggle to eat it. And I'd have to introduce even more things like jam bagels just to be able to get it in. So for me, I'm quite happy with where I'm at the minute, and I don't feel like I need to add in a carb cycling approach. However, later on in the year when I'm still dieting and I'm aiming to knock through a plateau for 1 week, for example, if I didn't drop body weight, then I might introduce carb cycling as a new tool to try and push on with my fat loss. But if you're actually still achieving results, then you don't really need to look at things like this unless you feel like it's going to benefit your performance. And if that's the case, then 100% you should use carb cycling, because if it's going to improve your performance, your results are going to get better, and your recovery is going to be better, then you're going to look better at the end of the day. So it's basically the thing that we're striving for most of all is adherence. So what is more likely to get you to stick to your diet, whether it's a normal diet, whether it's carb cycling, whether it's intermittent fasting, whether it's no carbs after 5 p.m, like whatever fad you need to use, just follow it. And whatever makes you stick to it most is the one you should follow. Okay, so that's like a super quick example of what a carb cycle could look like. Now, I wouldn't take fat that low on your high day, but that's just an example of what you can use to do a carb cycle, a high, medium and a low day. My advice would be, if you're going to carb cycle, I'd have a training day diet and a rest day diet, okay? So you split your training day into a high carb day and your rest day into a low carb day, but your calories would also change. So this is where a lot of people don't really adjust things when they carb cycle. I would carb and calorie cycle if you're going to use this as a tool to try and improve your results. So I would go with increase your calories on training days, and on rest days you would decrease your calories. Now for me, I'm not going to do this because at the moment my rest days are predominantly at the weekend. At the weekend I want to eat more food because it's a lifestyle thing. However, if you're happy to eat less at the weekends, or whenever you rest basically, if you're happier to eat less on those days and improve performance by eating more on your training days, which is a chance it might happen because your recovery will be improved, then I would definitely suggest, if you're going to introduce a carb cycle, move your food higher on a training day and lower on a rest day. So if you think you're on 3,000 calories a day, times that by 7, that's 21,000 calories a week. Then you've got 5 training days and 2 rest days a week, for example. You then now know how many calories you've got for the week to play with, so you can then introduce your food increase your food to 3,500 on a training day, times that by 5, then the remainder of your calories that you got left, you divide into 2 rest days. So that would be a more beneficial way of doing things rather than a normal carb cycle, in my opinion. But yeah, this video is getting a little bit long now. My advice would be to always keep carbs as high as you possibly can in a diet phase whilst getting results. And then only introduce things like a carb cycle if you feel like you've hit a plateau. And if you're speaking to somebody who's like, yeah, carb cycling is the one, that's the thing that melted the fat off me, then they're a dick. Ignore them, because calorie deficit achieves fat loss, not carb cycling. So if carb cycling enables you to get into a calorie deficit via that way of dieting, then yes, beneficial. However, realise that it's not the carb cycling, it's the calorie deficit that's actually creating the fat loss for you. So this is important to remember. It's not, oh, carb cycling is the next best thing. It's gonna save the day and it's gonna cure obesity. No, it's not. Calorie deficit will cure your problems with losing body fat. It's as simple as that. If it enables you to stick to your diet better, like I said before, adherence, then yeah, crack on with carb cycling. But the reality is, you need to enjoy the whole process as much as you can, then it becomes sustainable. So if you feel like a carb cycle would make your diet more sustainable, even though the low days do suck a little bit, then yeah, follow it. However, if you want to keep carbs high all week, then I would definitely recommend that, because that's going to then create a more sustainable environment for you 7 days a week. But if you want to go ham on your training sessions and increase carb on them days, then try it by all means. But there is nothing behind it that's a secret. It's literally just a different way of doing things that someone's jumped onto and tried to sell because people fall for it, and it's another false belief. Just like you can't eat carbs after 5 o'clock, that's bullshit. You can eat carbs right until you go to bed. It isn't going to make a difference to fat loss if you're in a calorie deficit. So thermodynamics is never going to change. Physiology isn't going to change. So no matter what diet these new people bring out to play to try and sell you something, it isn't going to change what thermodynamics is, and that is basically energy balance dictates everything. So if someone comes to you and says, I've got a new diet, it's the best thing ever, or I've got a new supplement, you must take it if you want to melt body fat, they're a liar. Don't listen to them, and just do things the way you enjoy and the way you can sustain things. Then you can keep getting results and they can get better and better, rather than going up into great results and then falling back off the other side because it's not sustainable. Always think long term, but by all means you can be aggressive with how you get into shape and then build a strategy to stay in shape. But my advice would be to be sensible and do what you enjoy. If you enjoy eating carbs, don't carb cycle, because there's going to be a few days in the week where you're not eating many of them, and then a few days are going to be hard, and then you're going to hate the process or dislike the process. Then on training days you're eating all the carbs in the world, then you go from that into a rest day. Not fun. But this isn't me slating off carb cycling, because I probably will use it at some point this year, because I've got some cool plans for this year and what I'm going to do and how I'm going to try and present it on YouTube and teach people, motivate people. But my advice would be to, yeah, like I've said about 14 times already in this little clip, do what makes you happy. If carb cycling makes you happy and it helps you stick to your diet, follow it. So I'm just going to wrap up the video. Thank you so much for watching. Monday and Tuesday done this week, so that's day 8 and 9 of the challenge. Food's been on point. I've even managed to do a little bit of extra cardio in these last 2 days. I'm feeling good, nothing bad, nothing negative to add. I'm just feeling actually really positive, and I'm enjoying myself, and I'm really enjoying the feedback that you guys are giving me as well. So like always, if you have any questions or need any help with anything, let me know. If you can, if you've got all the way to the end of this video, please like and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and I will definitely see you in the next video, which will be up in a few days. Cheers guys, have a great week.